After a whole week of deny,
Iranian schools. Have y'all learned nothing about the propaganda war?
What?
The United States nor Israel did not send a missile at an elementary school in Iran.
That's being investigated right now.
All I can say is that we're investigating that.
Don't act like we know who fired it, because we don't.
The United States of America does not target civilians.
Why they didn't shut down the schools?
In less than 100 meters from the school, there's IRGC structures, including military buildings and a clinic belong to the Guard. So the question is, why are military assets positioned next to schools?
That was done by Iran.
It's looking 99% certain that the USA is responsible for the missile strike on a primary girls' school in southern Iran. Who would have thought it? How can I be so certain? Well, look at this footage. This right here is a US-made, highly advanced, GPS-navigated Tomahawk missile heading directly into a school with hundreds of kids in it. Iran does not possess this type of missile. Not even Israel has access to Tomahawks. The two eyes both use missiles that look completely different from the US Tomahawks. This was a precise, deliberate American strike. So why on earth would they target a primary school? Well, unfortunately for 110 kids, I believe, their school was next to an Iranian state military facility, an IRGC base/hospital. They simply had to go. It's tragic, but look, the terrorists had to be eliminated. What were we supposed to do, man? What possibly else could we have done? How about just don't strike the military base? How about if there's a 0.01%
chance
that hundreds of children might get pulverized into dust? We should think before reducing a school or a fucking hospital to smithereens, okay? Crazy idea. Let's just imagine this happening in our own hometowns. Picture the kindergarten you went to. Let's imagine it. God forbid, a psychotic serial killer broke into the school and barricaded himself into some back room using hundreds of kids as his human shield. Now, option A you have is a very complicated, logical, thought out police operation. There's a whole standoff. They go in on foot and do their absolute best to extract the lunatic or take him out whilst protecting as many innocent children as possible, and other civilians as well, of course, not just kids. Or option B, nuke. Just nuke them. No policemen are gonna risk their lives. Thank God. The police aren't gonna go in on foot. No. No plan is formulated. We just send in a $2 million missile and yes! Mission accomplished. Target eliminated, bro. Good job. Don't read the small print, okay? We killed the terrorists. We eliminated the threat, okay? Let's go. Actually, though, what happened in Iran a week ago is way worse than that scenario, because it turns out the Iranian regime wasn't even using this school as a human shield, at least not to the same extent that Israel are doing right now. For example, all the military bunkers are built under Tel Aviv. I think that's where Netanyahu's posted up when he's not in Germany. That's under civilian housing. Also, all the schools are jam-packed full of military equipment, and the hospitals as well. They genuinely have tanks in their yards right now. By analyzing satellite data, we can clearly see, yes, the plot of land where the school was located about 15 years ago was used as part of the military facility. However, 8 years ago, for one reason or another, this base massively shrunk its operation. They changed the border wall, they made the plot a lot smaller, they built a road through it, they repurposed some of the buildings. For example, this one became a medical clinic, and the plot of land which would more recently become a girls' primary school was not even within the base. It was no longer part of the base at all. This was just a simple plot of land that changed and got sold and then was developed into a school. The only advantage of this location is that I believe it was where many of the port workers, the Navy workers for this base, had their daughters in that school, because it was just convenient, right? That was the only advantage. It was not being used as a human shield by the base at all. And if Pete Hegseth, alright, the man himself, had surveyed Google satellite view for even 2 seconds before approving this strike, he would have realized, oh, that's a fucking school. All the clear markers are there. Playing fields, colorful wall murals. This looks to be a running track or a lining up area for assembly or something. It's not the kind of shit that evil IRGC masterminds would need in their facility, okay? It's a school. And also bear in mind, according to Trump's logic, none of these houses are apparently human shields. None of these buildings, which are actually closer to the IRGC base than the school, got bombed, did they? So they don't count as human shields, but the school, eliminate them. Take them out, bro. We have to. And this means the only possible reason America struck this building is because they were using 15 to 20-year-old George Bush / early Obama era intelligence. The level of fucking incompetence and lack of accuracy for them to rely off 20-year-old fucking intel when waging a war in which innocent lives are at stake, even when American soldiers' lives are at stake, is unbelievable. Actually, Trump described this pretty well in his Air Force One speech. You just got to replace the word Iran with America.
It's Iran. We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
Now, everyone from MAGA to Iranian Westerners have been coming up with a whole host of excuses or caveats or justifications for this war crime. I will address them. I will be doing it.
It was also the 150 school girls that were killed. I mean, ultimately, you see this as worth it. Like, yeah,
100%. 100% is worth it, yes.
There was that school in Iran that was bombed, 150 dead. But you see this all as worth it. I mean, you think we should go to the end.
Yes, it's worth it, and that's why we are here.
Firstly, I've seen many people online claiming that because this happened on a Saturday, the kids must have been there as captives and human shields at the hands of the Iranian regime. Two major issues with this. A, why would that make mag dumping on them into oblivion fine? Why would that make that okay? B, you obviously don't know that a lot of Muslims adhere to a Thursday/Friday weekend, meaning that in Iran and some other countries as well, the normal work week is Saturday to Wednesday, and these poor Iranians all over the country essentially got missiles showering down on them on a Monday morning at 10 a.m. whilst they were fasting for Ramadan. Look, there's really something so Israeli about bombing your enemy whilst they're hungry.
This is war.
We are not at war.
War is hell.
This isn't a war.
War is a state of mind, and in this case, a literal war.
Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it?
Well, I think you could say it both.
This end is the beginning, which is also the end. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Closing time.
You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war.
Sometimes to avoid a war, you must fight a war. For in that war you find not a war.
Remember, I'm the president of peace.
Peace and war, are they really so different?
I've also heard people speculating the legitimacy of this new angle, this new video, which is the main proof of America's strike, mainly because it took like a week to get out of Iran. It took a week to come to light. There's also no boots on the ground reporting by any reliable source. All we have is this one 240 pixel video, which I get. But there is a very simple explanation for this. The Supreme Leader and his brutal Iranian regime have always used internet blackouts to their advantage. It's one of their most important weapons, in my opinion. They really effectively mass control their people with it. Since the war started, they've literally just switched the internet off. Side note, this makes it almost impossible for the regime to be replaced. How can news spread if they control the entire nation's internet? How can an opposition leader rise up? How can the IRGC be toppled as Trump's insinuated is supposed to happen?
Finally, to the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. It would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person, but we have people like that. We have people that were more moderate.
It just proves that Bibi and America just want all-out chaos and further extremism and needless bloodshed in Iran.
Yeah.
For example, the new Ayatollah that's already been put in, by the way, is generally considered to be much more extreme than the previous Ayatollah. Good job, guys. Great job.
One other point about Mujtaba. The airstrike that killed his father on February the 28th, the opening day of the war, also killed his mother, his wife, and at least one of his children. So he has the most intense personal reasons to loathe America and not retreat by one iota. So this regime, I mean, if you thought the last one was bad, this one is going to be even worse.
He's way more hardline than the guy we murked. Amazing.
Just as the Israeli regime succeeded in dragging the United States into the quagmire of war with Iran.
And back to the speculation of this new video evidence we have of the Tomahawk hitting the school. There is a internet blackout. Of course the evidence is going to take weeks to make it out of Iran. Of course reporters can't move from big cities to this school in southern Iran. And of course reporters cannot come in from other countries and report freely in Iran. It's Iran. The government slaughtered tens of thousands of their own people about a month ago simply for protesting. They did an internet blackout then too. The world didn't give a fuck. The US and Israel then went in and created a brand new, amazing religious martyr for people to look up to. A supreme martyr for all the extremist Shiites in Iran. Tens of millions of whom have taken to the streets to publicly mourn the Ayatollah. They have a new supreme leader already with the same fucking name.
Things less expensive than replacing Ayatollah Khamenei with Ayatollah Khamenei. Health insurance for 5 million Americans. 400 Epstein Islands. $30,000 to every homeless person in the United States. Free Disneyland for 7 years. Housing for 250,000 people. 0 miles of California high-speed rail. Yearly tuition for 2 million college students.
They're partaking in a 40-day mourning period. It's North Korea level with 4x the population of North Korea. And you expect reputable reporting to come out of this country, bro. You really think that's a possibility? I mean, the thing is, if you're worried about Iran's government being religious, spiritual fanatics, well, maybe you should take a look at Trump's spiritual advisor. No, not that one, who... a 13-year-old, his new spiritual advisor, bro. Let's see how normally she's acting.
Victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda ata ata rata teda baka sanda ata ambo osa tata rite eke banda ata rike didi ashata. For angels have even dispatched.
Now I'm gonna go through the best excuses of them all. Trump's excuses. Firstly, he ran with this insane idea that somehow Iran struck the school at the same time that America struck the IRGC's base building. The odds of this being possible are like 1 in a billion, but let's entertain it for a second. One Russian/Iranian Shahed drone, which is what they've been using throughout this war, costs about 25k USD. Not too bad, it's pretty light. They are unmanned kamikaze style drones. Not the best in the world, but they're cheap, that's the advantage. One Tomahawk fucking cruise missile is about 3 million USD. 3 million USD. They are the best missiles on fucking planet Earth. They evade radar completely. They have internal navigation capabilities with GPS. Maybe if it was the other way around, the theory Trump is proposing could maybe just about be possible. But the idea that the US could covertly, precisely strike a target, then within seconds of the hit, Iran could launch one of their Shahed Russian-designed kamikaze drones, which is over 100 times cheaper and less capable than the US cruise missiles, and with even more accuracy than America, and within minutes hit a school in the same complex, in the premises, a few meters away from the base, in some elaborate plan to frame America as war criminals, which would have to be done over the course of like milliseconds. It's so unfathomably unthinkable and improbable. Only Joe Rogan could buy this theory. Only Joe. The only way this elaborate plan would have ever possibly worked is if Iran possessed Tomahawk missiles or Tomahawk level weaponry. But I thought we destroyed Iran's advanced weapon capabilities about like a couple months ago, I think, when we struck them before. Oh wait, no. Unless
Tomahawk missile likely destroyed that Iranian girls' school. So will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for
haven't
that strike?
seen it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation. But Tomahawks are used by others, as you know. What? Numerous other nations have Tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
Oh, but when the report does come out and it does show that it was the US military's fault, it's now confirmed by America that it was a intelligence/AI fault by the American military. Oh, all of a sudden, I don't know.
A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about it. But whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries. But that's being investigated right now.
Okay, so this is what we're doing now, huh? This is what we're doing right now. If it was our missile that hit the school, it's probably because we sold that missile to Iran. So it's still your fault. Quick life lesson for all my younger viewers, yeah? If someone is lying to you, and within that lie, they continue to like whittle it down closer to the truth, step by step, to the point where they're somewhat admitting guilt. Like, I'm guilty, not just as quite guilty as you say. They did that shit. They 100% did that shit. I promise you, they did everything you think they did. If someone's willing to accept a bit of responsibility to like lessen the blow, they did that shit. If you have videos like this in your search history with the current state of the world and the current state of online privacy, you should be afraid. I mean, they're deporting Norwegians for having JD Vance memes on their phones in the US. I'm pretty sure this kind of content could get you sent to an El Salvadorian prison camp, okay? And if you're worried about that kind of stuff, it is imperative you, my friend, get a VPN. And the best VPN, which I happen to have a special offer for you on today, is CyberGhost VPN, my friend. I use this VPN myself, not even joking, every day. Thanks to these guys for helping me out and also sponsoring this video. But this should really be a no-brainer for you guys. I mean, just put some trust in the over 38 million loyal users worldwide that CyberGhost has, one of which being me. Because even on incognito mode, your internet service provider, your school or work's IT department, your home Wi-Fi router, anyone with access can track what you do online. But with CyberGhost VPN, simply select one of their over 100 locations to encrypt and reroute all of your traffic through a foreign server. This also means using CyberGhost unlocks geo-restricted games, content from over 40 streaming platforms, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, you name it. CyberGhost works on all devices and operating systems, Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, plus you can always protect up to 7 devices at the same time. Share it with your friends and family, you know? All this for $2.03 a month. Plus you get 4 months for free, which is 84% off. Yup, CyberGhost have given me a crazy deal for you guys. Please go sign up using that link in description. It really helps me out too. It would help me fund and make more videos like this in the future. And most importantly, there is a 45-day money-back guarantee. So you literally have nothing to lose. And CyberGhost would not be offering you that if their product was bad. So give it a shot. Trump is out here saying $3 million classified American cruise missiles are very common, very generic. We might have sold some to Iran. I can't really remember. I don't keep track of that stuff, you know. There are 3 countries that have Tomahawk missiles: the US, the UK, and Australia.
The president saying Tomahawks are used by other countries, but an investigation is ongoing. What do we know about where that stands?
Well, that was a bit surprising to me because basically the U.S. has Tomahawks. Tomahawks have to be fired from either submarines or from warships. The Brits and the Australians have Tomahawks, but they're not part of this conflict. And then you also have the Japanese who are in a testing phase. So it seems highly unlikely that it would be anyone's Tomahawk other than a U.S. Tomahawk that hit that school. And I think the president knows that. He just knows that this is certainly a mistake, a big mistake, and it's being investigated, but he's trying to sort of muddy the waters by talking about the Tomahawk.
I don't think any of us would have sold those missiles to Iran. I don't think any of those Commonwealth countries would have sold the most advanced weaponry possible to Iran. I kind of doubt it, you know? Like, I know we sell our arms to like the RSF militia in Sudan, and I know we send our arms to the M23 militia in the Congo, but neither of those terror groups are Shiites. Okay, that would be too far. That would be way too far, bro. Yeah. We're fine with supporting Christian paramilitary groups, but if it's Muslims, if it's Shias on top of that, no, that's way too far. Way too far, bro. That's where I draw the line, actually. But yeah, anyway, look, this is the most classic Trump technique in the book. Yeah. First you deny, then when you're proved wrong, you justify, then you go silent, and everyone forgets about it ever happening, even though they know the truth. But no one cares because there's no outrage, because it's dragged over like a long period, and we all have slow brains from all the Italian brain rot we've consumed, which is exactly what has happened with Epstein. I think one of the best things about this conflict that historians will look back on and study in awe is how we have both sides posting AI slop propaganda. Both sides are having this like mini AI slop war. There are right now specialists in both the Iranian and American governments whose entire jobs are just to type out prompts into Sora AI, I swear to God. Why are we surprised though, man? Genuinely, why are people surprised about America blowing up a school? Without even considering America's previous Middle Eastern foreign policy moves over the last 25 years, just think about Israel's behavior. Schools, hospitals, civilian buildings, aid, food, water. They say it's to target Hamas, right? But they obviously don't want that. What they want is ethnic cleansing, is the segregation of the West Bank to eradicate Hamas. No. Is using chemical weapons on Lebanese farmland to eradicate Hamas. No. Is the annexing of Syrian land to eradicate Hamas. No, of course it isn't. Was Ehud Barak, the ex-Israeli prime minister, caught in the new Epstein files talking about introducing 1 million non-Jewish Russians into Israel, whilst dark-skinned Ugandan Jews, for example, aren't even allowed into Israel at all?
I believe we have to break the monopoly of the Orthodox rabbinate and accept, in a sophisticated, subtle manner, open the gates for massive conversion into Judaism. It's a successful country. Many will apply, and we can control the quality much more effective than our ancestors or the founding fathers of Israel could did with the wave that it was a kind of salvation wave of Africa, from the Arab or from whatever. Now we can be selective. We can easily absorb another million. I used to tell Putin always, what we need is not just 1 more million. He changed Israel in a dramatic manner. The million Russians. I think that many will prefer to be Belarusian, or there are many young handsome girls will come. What? Tall, kid.
Was that to eradicate Hamas? I don't think it was. It's all ethnic thing, and I may or may not have a video about this coming soon, by the way. Just give me some time to edit, and also give me a break from World War III so I can continue on my big projects instead of making these small videos. By the way, here's Epstein talking to the same Israeli prime minister I mentioned before about Peter Thiel and Palantir.
He thought there was 2 cyber companies. Look out, and even though I know Peter, I've never met Peter Thiel. And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah. He looks there under drugs.
However, he has a company called Palantir. So he thought that Peter would put you on the board of Palantir. Peter Thiel is one of the best. I've never met him. He's going to come here next week. So I wanted to talk to him after I talked to you. Okay. He and Andreessen, it's called Andreessen Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz, that's what they pay Larry $1 million a year. Just to advise them.
What they are, the lobbyists, what they are.
They are the biggest venture capital people in Silicon Valley. These are the new Kleiner Perkins. Everybody, these are the smart boys. Yeah. So those 2 companies right away, in terms of, I said that we need now.
Obviously, this whole World War III situation really makes companies like Palantir or Lockheed Martin, etc., curl their toes in happiness. But if you consider how insanely integrated Palantir technology is within both Israeli and US missile systems, do you really think it's a surprise that the guy who owes Peter Thiel big time for a little 2016 Russia-involved election rigging, maybe? You really think it's a surprise that all of a sudden now the US and Israeli military are working together openly for the first time in history, predominantly missile-based warfare as well? There is this bridge between these 2 militaries called Palantir. Epstein was best mates with multiple US presidents. Epstein was best mates with multiple Israeli prime ministers. Epstein put both of these countries onto Palantir and onto Peter Thiel, as is confirmed in the new files. But look, if we're talking about the Air Force's strength in these conflict-ridden times, it's good to know that Trump is appointing the best of the best to high-up positions in the US Air Force. Erica Cook! And anyway, this leads me back to my main thoughts. No one else is talking about when it comes to this war. This is the first time in history the US is openly fighting alongside Israel.
Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be within a few months.
Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb.
Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year.
Time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
He's been saying this shit for longer than I've been alive.
It must be some sort of unbelievable leverage that he's able to pull Trump into this war with Iran. I've told you before.
Every single time Benjamin Netanyahu came to Washington.
Going back to the early 90s. He's been here 3 times this year. The late 80s, yeah. He would ask whoever happened to be president.
To bomb Iran.
Yes. I mean, he was not even prime minister at the time early on. He was Israeli ambassador to the United Nations.
You have to bomb Iran. Help us. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran. Bomb Iran.
And every single president said no. Until Donald Trump. Right. Said,
sure. We'll bomb Iran for you.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. And I think that people sitting right next door in Iran, young people, and many others will say, the time of such regimes, of such despots, is gone. There is a new age. Something new is happening.
And that is speculation on your part, or you have some evidence to that effect? We've done, I think, what you proposed in Afghanistan, yet I haven't seen that sort of neighborhood effect.
The application of power is the most important thing in winning the war on terror. If I had to say, what are the 3 principles of winning the war on terror? It's like, what are the 3 principles of real estate, the 3 L's? What? Location, location, location. What? The 3 principles of winning the war on terror are the 3 W's. Winning, winning, and winning. What? The more victories you amass, the easier the next victory becomes. The first victory in Afghanistan makes the second victory in Iraq that much easier.
But their involvement was never confirmed, was it? Before, it was just alleged. It was never officially confirmed. This is the first time in history Zionist extremism has been so overexposed to the average Westerner that they don't even bat an eyelid when the concept of the US and Israel fighting alongside each other in a war as allies, as a big happy family, is proposed and starts to become a horrific reality. This could very easily become World War III, and the USA is currently, right now, openly fighting alongside a country who will report shit like grandson of Hamas leader Khalil al-Hayya has been eliminated today in Gaza. And then this is who they're talking about. Classy, guys. A 2-year-old, the fucking grandson they're bragging about eliminating is a 2-year-old. All right, I had to take my jacket off. I was getting too worked up and hot and bothered, you know. Every other president said no to this official US, Israel, Iran military collab. Everyone declined Bibi. Trump said yes because his backers are unprecedentedly invested in Israel and therefore in this war, from AIPAC to private Israeli donors who are the #1 backers of Trump's recent political career, to Palantir, more specifically Peter Thiel, who completely backed JD Vance's political career. Side note, has anyone seen our man JD Vance recently? I certainly haven't. I haven't seen him involved in any of this Iran war shit. I wonder where he is. He's in hiding right now because all of Trump's backers know that this war is going to go absolutely horribly, and they know it's going to look terrible in 2028, so they don't want him associated with any of this because they're going to put him up as the new president. Elon and Peter Thiel are going to put this man up as the president, yeah? So he can't be associated with any of this bullshit happening right now. Also, how about this massive new contract Lockheed Martin had to strike up with the Department of War this week? Yes, that's the department that used to be called the Department of Defense, but obviously because Trump is an anti-war presidential candidate, he needs a Department of War. Obviously, clearly. Anyway, it's in all these guys' interest to serve Israel, and this war is only beneficial to Israel, not to the people of Israel, not to the normal citizens of Israel. No, only to the Israeli state, only to Bibi and all his homies. It's almost like Bibi and his homies have some compromising material on Trump, maybe. I wonder what that could be about. The Israeli current government are the only people benefiting from this. I shouldn't have to tell you, but obviously the American public are not going to reap any rewards from this shit. The price of petrol or gas is already skyrocketing, as I'm sure you've heard. That's directly because of this conflict. Oh, but don't worry, because the Venezuelan oil will replace it soon, bro. Okay, never mind.
Good news for the petroleum industry. Oil's about to be $200 a barrel, all because of this place. The beautiful Strait of Hormuz has become a flashpoint in America's holy war to secure peace through strength against the evil Islamic Republic of Iran. This narrow passage is only 21 miles wide, and the Iranians have blocked most vessels from traveling through it. It is here that over 20% of the world's fossil fuels are shipped, which means any disruption in these waters creates an amazing opportunity for the hardworking men and women at America's oil companies to cash in. When global supply from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and other Gulf countries is cut, American oil can be sold at a premium. That means we are all about to be wealthy beyond our wildest dreams. When millions of motorists pay more at the pump, smart investors know that this means increased profits. The longer we can keep the Strait of Hormuz closed, the higher prices can go. 200, 300, 400? The sky's the limit, baby girl. So start scoping out safe harbors to dock your newest yacht, because you're going to be able to buy at least 3 of those bad boys in the next month alone. As this war drags on and our president puts boots on the ground, just know that every American soldier's ultimate sacrifice means another petrodollar funneled directly into your portfolio. Take comfort in the simple fact that the future of the beloved oil industry is secure.
The only thing prohibiting transit in the Straits right now is Iran shooting at shipping. It is open for transit should Iran not do that.
I mean, American lives have already been lost over this. American soldiers, man. 15 countries have been bombed. More countries are getting dragged in every single day. You think this is the first school that's gonna get hit by a missile in this conflict?
No.
You think this is a one-off? This is some random thing?
No.
It's been happening for getting on to 3 years now in Gaza. It's been happening for 25 years across the entire Middle East. Now, I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but there is this idea among Persians, especially the millions of Western Persians living in the West, that they are different to Arabs. They're totally different. They're like, ew, we're not like that. We're not Arab, bro. It's so different. There's this idea that they're like a step ahead of the Arabs, so therefore they won't get the Libya treatment. They won't suffer the Syria effect because we are Persians, not Arabs. We comb our hair into insane quiffs and wear unbearable amounts of perfume. Therefore, a school getting hit here is 100 times worse than a school getting hit here.
Back with another milk. Help! Help! Help me! Help!
I've got a crazy idea, right? How about we all just agree no one should be bombing any schools? And I am no means singling out Persians or anything. This is just like how you have Brits in Dubai crying, this ain't meant to happen here.
A man in Dubai has been charged under cybercrime laws, accused of filming Iranian missiles flying over the city. Now, the laws there prohibit publishing or sharing material that could be disturbing to the public security. The 60-year-old is believed to be a tourist. Last week, the Attorney General for the UAE warned people against circulating photos or videos showing the sites of attacks or inaccurate information that might cause panic. The penalty for breaching cybercrime laws in the UAE is a minimum of 2 years in prison as well as a fine of over $50,000.
We're not meant to be getting bombed. We're in Dubai. We're meant to be. We're putting our lives on the line for simply wanting to indulge in some luxury shopping, some shisha, and an infinity pool. I'm on holiday. Okay, this is my holiday. They're not wrong. It shouldn't be happening in Dubai. It also shouldn't be happening anywhere, ever. Arabs are not this like entity that can just swallow bombs to the dome all day and be sacrificed for the greater good. Which goes back to my point, like, if a British serial killer locked himself in a school, the idea of blowing up that whole school to take out the serial killer is absolutely fucking insane, right? Oh, but when it's a serial killer, well, what do you want me to say, man? It's unfortunate, but that's just the harsh reality of war. That's how war goes, bro. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I guess one of the differences here that needs pointing out, and why this school strike and all 3 years of Gaza bombardments feel kind of different, is that this was the US military using a US weapon to take out kids. Whereas, at least in Gaza, they can hide behind the IDF. Like, even though it was funded by America and strategically coordinated by America, even though America had a hand in all those war crimes, it wasn't specifically the American military, it was Israel's. This time, it is America. And best of all, the FBI under the amazing, trustworthy leadership of Kash Patel.
You know, why is it that the director of the FBI has his private jet that's funded by the U.S. taxpayer dollar flown in from Manassas Airfield to Reagan National instead of taking his 3-car up-armored suburban motorcade 35 miles to take the plane? It's $5,000 a pop every time that plane takes off and lands. It's $5,000 a pop every time that plane takes off and lands.
Is now claiming that the Iranian military have ships that pose an imminent threat to America off the shores of California. Now, wouldn't it be convenient if the US Department of War had just financed the production of identical drones to Iran's military right around the time Larry Silverstein acquired multiple skyscrapers on the West Coast? Both of those things happen right now. Wow, an Iranian T-word attack would be the perfect excuse for Trump to put boots on the ground in Iran, wouldn't it? Oh, and on top of all of that, you're telling me the US Army are getting served lobster and steak right now? Oh, hell no. Bro, we go into war. It might actually be time to flee to rural Botswana or something, bro. Anything to distract us from the Epstein files, bro. But don't worry, I swear to God, my next video will be the insane big Epstein upload. Sub up, hit the notification bell if you want to see that first. It's insane. I discuss a lot of shit in it that I don't think anyone else has really brought up about these files, unless Israel nukes Tehran. If they do that, I might have to make another Iran vid, but hopefully this will be my last video about this war, because A, I really want it to end personally, and B, I don't want to get 20 million more threats in my DMs from guys with lions and green and red hearts in their IG bios, okay? If you don't know, that is the royal flag of Iran, and this shit has been following me around everywhere I go. I even got this awful AI advert for, I think, car insurance, I think. Look at it. Just out of curiosity, I go into the comments. Oh! Are we doing for real, bro? Are we actually being real? I talked about Iran's history, especially their royal history, a lot in my last video, but in the briefest explanation I could possibly give you, essentially in the early 1950s, Iran did actually have an equal, popular, free democracy, but the US and UK overthrew that guy because he wanted to nationalize Iran's oil, and instead they propped up the Shah, or the king, and the royal reign of Iran that followed, whilst it might look nice in the pictures, was brutal, authoritarian, anti-Islamic, pro-Israeli, and worst of all, Iran's oil fortunes were sold off to America and the UK, not benefiting the Iranian people one bit, who got really mad about this. They got really pissed off and revolted in 1979, installing the Ayatollahs we have today. So if you want to oversimplify a bit, you can basically entirely blame the West for ruining Iran's only shot at a true equal democracy. And also, you can blame blame the West for spiraling Iran into the hell it is today. So it's pretty comical that in 2026 we have people presenting the West, Israel and America to be specific, as the saviors of Iran, when they're the ones who cooked Iran from the start.
If Trump says he's no Winston Churchill, well, in this respect, I'm very happy that he's no Winston Churchill, because Winston Churchill did intervene in Iran, and we are living with the consequences of that today. So Churchill and his counterparts in the US launched a coup against the democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, in 1953, because he was nationalising the oil industry. He said, this oil belongs to Iran, it shouldn't be all captured by the Anglo-Iranian oil company and siphoned out of our country and the wealth taken away from us. A perfectly reasonable position, but Churchill wasn't having any of that. He prompted the US, in particular the CIA, to launch a coup, overthrew Mossadegh, who was a highly popular leader. He was revered by his people to an extent that very few of ours ever are, and installed instead, reinstalled the Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, with his brutal, cruel regime. And when that regime was overthrown in the Iranian Revolution in 1979, one of the main reasons that people gave for that new revolution was the overthrow of Mossadegh in 1953. So we are now living, or rather the Iranians are now living, with this brutal and horrible Ayatollah's regime, which was instituted in response to what the British and the Americans did before. This is what's called imperial blowback. And we think we're being so clever and so brilliant in wading in to countries about which our governments often seem to know very little, plunging in and firing missiles and staging coups and all the rest of it, but we don't think of those long-term outcomes, those long-term consequences, and the absolutely catastrophic effects that they can have many decades down the line.
Now I'm going to hand over to my favorite Filipino boy to talk about the current Shah or king, who is very popular in the West among the Persian diaspora, and they think he should be installed in Iran now as the new leader.
You know, the Israelis, you guys have seen this clown, Reza Pahlavi.
Iran's market being open to America, and that would be probably over $1 trillion worth of impact and revenue to the American economy. Just
Take you! Take you! Take you! Take you!
The state of Israel will be recognized immediately.
And what, now he's supposed to go back to Iran to crown himself king like his father did? Place the crown on his own head like Napoleon? He's a cuck.
Reza Pahlavi is the world's longest-lasting remote worker. From his house in the state of Maryland, Pahlavi said he has accepted the responsibility to serve as a transitional leader for Iran.
Iranian people have called on me to lead the transition after the regime is gone. I have accepted that responsibility.
Despite nobody asking him. This is a pretty funny bit that he's been dragging out for a while. So, who is this guy? And why is he so eager to lead a currently battered and uncertain nation? Is this guy even sane? Reza Pahlavi was born on October 31st, 1960 in Tehran. He was officially named Crown Prince in 1967 during his father's coronation, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi. He grew up in Iran, became fluent in Persian and English, and trained as a pilot, earning his jet fighter certification as one of Iran's youngest pilots. In the summer of 1978, at age 17, he left Iran for advanced jet fighter pilot training in Texas. Pretty convenient because while he was abroad, the Iranian Revolution overthrew the monarchy in January the next year, establishing the Islamic Republic. Since then, he's never been back. The regime of his father was widely criticized for a range of authoritarian practices, economic disparities, and selling out the country to foreign companies, all of which contributed to the widespread discontent that led to the revolution. His father died in July 1980, exiled in Egypt. Later, on his 20th birthday, Reza Pahlavi proclaimed himself Shah in exile. He completed his education, earning a bachelor's degree in political science in America. You know, just in case. During the Iran-Iraq War, he volunteered to serve as a fighter pilot for Iran, but was rejected by the new regime because, dude, what? In 1986, the 25-year-old Reza married 17-year-old Yasmin. They had been together for 2 years before the wedding, meaning at 23 years old, Pahlavi was dating a 15-year-old. She also may be currently having an affair with her yoga instructor.
The Crown Prince of Iran, whose wife is carrying on a very public affair with her personal trainer, which is an utter humiliation in Islamic culture.
Sure.
Totally unacceptable.
For over 4 decades, Reza Pahlavi has lived in exile in the United States as a prominent Iranian opposition figure. He has so far sold books and gone on numerous TV interviews. And that's it. But this guy's in small potatoes. Now, Mr. Pahlavi's estimated net worth is in the tens to hundreds of millions. Before his father left Iran, he managed to squeeze out everything he could, leaving the people with nothing but cherished memories of a beautiful government or something. Now, we've all been told Iran was better before the Islamic Revolution, infamously with the status of their women.
The thought you've never produced a Michelangelo, a Bach, or even a
This
great...
I have said.
So you don't feel that women are, in that sense, equal, that they have the same intelligence or ability?
Not so far. Maybe you will become in the future.
Yeah, but look at this photo I found on Facebook. Women under the Shah looked normal. They looked Western. They wore skirts and their hair was exposed.
That's why we need to bomb the Museum of Fine Arts in Tehran.
Now, interestingly, Mr. Pahlavi says he doesn't want to restore himself as an absolute monarch or rule permanently, but he's also not opposed to the idea. After all, his primary claim to leadership stems from his father being the last Shah. Reza has never renounced his title as Crown Prince or Shah in exile. Reza remains indifferent to supporters claiming him to be Shah and is open to a constitutional monarchy, whoever that may benefit. Here's a slightly important detail. In Iran, barely anyone thinks about him.
رضا پهلوی خره کیه؟
این آخرین نبرد پهلوی جاش تو قبره.
جمله‌ای ندارم برات.
آدم نیست که چیزی بهش بگیم که.
هیچ کاری نمیتونه بکنه.
آقای پهلوی کور خوندی هرچی خوندی جانم فدای رهبر.
And people who do know him hate him because he was the son of the Shah. The Pahlavis were the first domino on how this entire mess started. However, Reza does have his supporters, just not in Iran, such as this Iranian protester who speaks perfect Farsi,
Das Volk hätte das von alleine niemals geschafft, dass dieses Regime...
or this Persian patriot living in the Netherlands, or how about this one in the United States? Yeah, none of these guys are in Iran, and I'm willing to bet if he's actually put in place, they're not going to go back. So why would they support him? Well, since they're outside of Iran, they might be the descendants of the estimated 1 million people who left along with the Shah, some of whom were escaping war, or were refugees of religious minorities, or were elites of the old regime. Also, some of them maybe are being paid off, but you'd be surprised what people would do for free. Let's get to know the guy a little more personally. Is he a nice guy to be around? Let's ask his ex-chief of staff.
این عکس ننگ رو میبینید؟ این عکس ننگ رو من پاره میکنم. من اشتباه کردم.
Perhaps he's just a liar. He doesn't care about his personal life.
He's a cuck.
And only has room in his heart for the nation of Iran.
The guy hasn't been in Iran since he was like 16 or 17 years old.
That would be probably over $1 trillion worth of impact and revenue to the American economy just by Iran's market being open to America. And
The state of Israel will be recognized immediately. We will pursue the expansion of the Abraham Accords into the Cyrus Accords, bringing together a free Iran, Israel, and the Arab world.
The Israeli plan is the US would install him, and then for our trouble and all the money that it cost us to, bomb these guys and bring carrier battle groups, we would get 49% of Iran's oil, they would keep 51%, and presumably everybody would live happily ever after. That's a fantasy.
I don't think that's gonna do well with Iranians, I can't lie. Okay, but maybe he's a genius.
yes. Now, this is my, I think, 4th time in Munich in the last year.
Oh, Adolfo's here. Okay.
Nice to meet you, nice to see you. I need to tell you that my father knew your father.
How come?
Really? Yes. My grandfather knew your father.
How interesting. Was he stationed in Iran in some capacity?
Yes, he was. He served in German army, and he was as an agent in Tehran in 40s.
That's very interesting.
All right, it's not that. Does he wanna make his father proud from the grave?
Surely, Your Majesty, you're not telling me that the Jewish lobby in the United States pulls the strings of the presidency.
Not entirely, but I think even a little too much, even for Israel interests.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I think so.
Okay, that's it. There's gotta be just one explanation left. He's just a stupid puppet that Trump is gonna put in power once they topple the regime in Iran.
him at all in your mind?
I guess he is. Some people like him, and we haven't been thinking about too much about that. It would seem to me that somebody from within maybe would be more appropriate. I've said that. He looks like a very nice person, but it would seem to me that somebody that's there, that's currently popular, if there's such a person.
I've got no idea what this guy's deal is. Let me remind you that this guy has millions of dollars. So why the hell is he bothering with this Shah nonsense? Why does he shove his big ass nose into every camera he can find, time and time again, to embarrass himself? Why can't he just sit back in Maryland and hide from the public eye, open up a business consulting firm to give his kids something to do, and die an American millionaire? I have a theory that when you're rich, you start craving more abstract things like power, fame, legacy. Your priorities don't line up with the priorities of a commoner. They align more with people you read in history books. Pahlavi has not seen a damn glimpse of Iran for 47 fucking years, and he still thinks he should own it. He has had this massive dream of being Shah for so long. There's probably nothing in his line of thinking that's attached to reality anymore. Listen, at the age of 19, Pahlavi was willing to put his life on the line and fight for his country against Iraq under the Islamic regime that overthrew his father. Why? Because his country was attacked first. Now, at 65, he is watching his people being bombed and is rooting for the bombers. I don't buy that he wants a democracy, dude. He wants that Shahdom so bad, no matter how battered Iran or its people get. If he cared, he wouldn't be trying to step the country backwards. Turns out he is just broke. He doesn't have that much money. He's being paid off by the CIA. In reality, he does want to be a family man, probably because he's like 64 and is disillusioned with the whole monarchy thing. But the US finds it more convenient to use him as a figurehead for Iranian resistance. And when the time comes to replace the Shah, it probably won't be him because he probably doesn't actually want to. But he is complicit for causing all this chaos for a paycheck. Do you think a guy who's 65 years old is gonna pick up his first job and it's to rebuild Iran? That's retiring age. You can choose whatever theory you want, bro. I'm just the guy making the video. Let's start with a thought exercise. Does the current Islamic Iranian regime need to go? Yes or no? You got the answer in your head? Okay, that's good. We're probably all thinking the same thing. Now, should the regime be replaced with Reza Pahlavi? No. No, bro, have you been paying attention to this video? Now, this is all leading to our third question. This one's a thinker, so lock in, bruh. Who the hell is supposed to be running Iran? What is the point of this war? What's the end game here? Is the US just trying to plunge a nation of 92 million people into anarchy like Libya, except on a way, way larger scale? Are they trying to replicate the success they had in Iraq? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 6 times, fuck you, bro, you're the devil. And for what? That's the end of the video, bruh. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Thank you to my good friend and fellow YouTuber, Mr. Wowmow. The Epstein video will be up soon. Sub up if you want to help me beat Netanyahu's sub count by 10x. This is my big goal in life right now, to 10x ratio Netanyahu on this platform. Also, if you like the sound of this outro music, it's about to play, my friend, it will be in the link in the description, okay? Bye-bye.
Our president will start a war with Iran. Because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Hold up.
up.
Don't forget to click that link in the description to get the special discount CyberGhost VPN is granting for our channel users. This app will protect your data whilst you browse and give you full access to all blocked content on the internet for just $2.03 a month only. Totally risk-free. Check it out. Link in the description.